What's up, everybody? It's Mike, the tour guide, with a brief explanation. People have asked me, hey, why don't you do seed tours on the large setting? And yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to do that where it's not. I need to figure out a good rhythm with it, like how to, do it in a way that it kind of like flows and everything fits together and you can find things easily. So when I figure that out, I will definitely do some stuff on a large setting, but I'm always going to start on the small setting. And here's why. If you are on a current gen system, if you don't do this, you're crazy. Like, seriously, you're bonkers. If you start on the large setting, I'm using this seed in particular because it's such a crazy seed when you start on small. If you start on small with this seed, you have 8 villages on the small setting. So on the first map, you have 8 villages plus a desert temple. Okay? Now, if you start this on the classic setting, you get 3 villages and a desert temple. And this is the key point. If you start this seed on the large setting, okay, the large setting, you get 2 villages and a desert temple. So tell me, what would you rather have? 8 villages and a desert temple? Or would you rather have 2 villages and a desert temple? Okay? Now, here's the best part about this. If you would think theoretically, if you start on the small setting and you have 8 villages and then you save it, and then when you start it back up, you change the seed size to large, theoretically you would think that the game would then, all 24 other maps, keep you from getting those villages and the goodies. But that's not what happens. When you go from small to large, you get all of the exact same villages you would have gotten if you would have started on large and moved off of the first map. So I know that sounds kind of confusing, but if you start on large, you would get the 2 villages and desert temple, and then you would get all the villages that you get when you move off of the first map. If you start on small, you get 8 villages, a desert temple, and all of the same villages that you got when you started on large on all 24 other maps. So it's kind of like if you start on small, you get bonuses if there are villages that are supposed to render in along the outer edge of the map. This is a good example. Okay, now if you start on large, this village right here, not gonna happen. You are not gonna get that village. But you will get right across the border on the second map, and this is kind of goofy down here. This is this is some of the crazy stuff that you can see. If you've never watched my videos, I have a couple of them. The seed size change game, where I try to guess what's going to happen to a village or something that's on the edge of the map. Check them out. But anyway, so technically, this right here is on the second map. Because the last, I think it's like 20 blocks, 40 blocks or something like that. If you overwrite the edges, things change and get kind of funky. But this building right here, this building right here, this, and maybe this well. Yeah, this well. This is on the second map. And this is on the second map. So small setting, you have this. If you start on the large, you don't have this, but you get this village. So my point is that if you start on the small setting, you get all of these glorious full-size 8 large villages over here. And then as you explore the seed on the large setting for all 24 other maps, you get all of the other stuff. See, on the large setting, even though you have all of this space over here, you do not get this village, you only get the desert temple. Now, I guess if you don't give a rip about villages, then this is irrelevant. But if you dig villages, and you think the more villages the better, hey, start on the small setting. I always start on the small setting. The way I do things is I start on the small setting, and I find a nether fortress, and I find the ender portal, and then I bang it out to large, and I get everything that's already on the 24 other maps, but I know where another fortress is and the ender portal. So anyway, there you go. It's just a brief explanation as to why I do things on small, and in my opinion, why everyone should do it on small if you have a current gen system. If you don't do that, try it. And if you watch my videos and you try to find the same things that, the same villages that I show you, but you start on the large setting and you're like, why do I only have 2 villages as opposed to 8? Well, that's why. Start on the small setting, and then after you have walked around a little bit and save the game, then bump it up to large. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And there you go. That's it. All right. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, have fun.